Welcome back to the channel. I'm Alan McPhee, and this is the Metaphysician. And I want, as the title says, do you live to eat or you eat to live? Maybe I'm saying it backwards, right? But the main idea is that we often have this idea that we need to eat in order to live. We'll say that very loosely. But if you look at our behavior and how we act, that's not really what's happening. I would say, for the vast majority of us, we actually live to eat. That is, we get up every day understanding that one of the high points of the day is our eating. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, we eat and we eat and we eat. And on occasion, sometimes we'll say, "Oh, we need to eat because we needed to live." But that's not the way our behavior really works. Now, please don't get me wrong. There are some people around the world such that they are happy to even have one meal a day. One meal a day for them is a luxury because they are so destitute, unable to really find food for many, many reasons. And they really starve. They understand starvation for real. Those individuals, they really, really eat to live because they don't even know where their next meal is coming from. And that's true for millions of people around the world. But for the majority of us, and for you, who are like me, we're not starving. We have access to food. Maybe not all we may want or desire because we can't afford it, but we have enough. And I'm speaking to you in the sense that we hide, we lie to ourselves a lot, not really putting forward our passion and love for food and eating, a multi-billion-dollar industry. We'll talk about all levels of eating, from the health food, non-health food, the junk food, the sweets, the candies, pizzas, everything, everything, right? And we pursue it with a passion. And when you ask someone why they eat so much, they'll say, "Oh, I needed to live." They lie. You lie. Yeah, you heard me. I say you're lying. You're eating it because you enjoy it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We want to do philosophy, right? You want to be honest with yourself. At least on this occasion, when you come to the challenge, you just be honest with yourself. You know, you just love that food, right? I'm not going to take that pleasure from you. Now, why am I engaging in this analysis of people's attitude towards eating? Well, one of the definitions of being a biological immortal is that you're able to stop eating. You can live without eating. And when you bring up this conversation, and I recommend you do not bring up this idea to too many people unless they have a disposition for this kind of talk. So when you bring up the idea of not eating to many people, they're going to become hostile. Not because there's some deep logical argument against this idea, is that they have a passionate embrace of living to eat. They love eating. And for you to threaten or even suggest, like I am, that they would stop eating, that could bring out a lot of hostility. And so when you are going to speak to this, come and give your comments down there. Put your comments down there about eating. Tell me how much you love eating down there. All right. Do not go around having this conversation with your friends and family unless they're into pursuing metaphysical truths of this type. You will not be liked for even suggesting, even suggesting that they stop eating. Don't do it. Please don't do it to them. But I'm going to suggest to you, you come to my channel, I'm going to tell you. All right. Because no matter what's going on, when these people are calm and peaceful, they're going to tell you the science says, knowledge says that if people don't eat long enough, they starve long enough, they die. So they understand that. So one definition of mortality is that you eat to live. You eat to live. That's one definition of being mortal. That's how you know you're mortal. Oh, I'm immortal. Stop eating. Oh, you can't stop eating? Okay, you're not an immortal guy. Smart aleck answer, but it's true. So I'm suggesting that one of the criterion of being immortal is this idea of not eating. Now, dietary control, let's call it, is embraced in many forms nowadays. Dietary controls from caloric restrictions, fasting, what is intermediate fasting, fasting for months, for weeks, for days, um, detoxing. Although detoxing, removing toxins from your body, it's a form of not, I guess it's a negative not eating because you're taking things outside of your system to make it pure and pure and pure so that it doesn't react to food like it normally did. And of course, that controversial idea of breatharianism, where people claim that they can live on air alone, no food and no water. There's different degrees and levels of breatharianism. We know, when I say we, I mean those who are looking at it through the medical eyes, those who are studying the impact of fasting on human body, those who are on the health and diet. It's understood that dietary control brings about many, many health benefits. That's not in question right now. Certain times you have certain problems, you have certain diseases, there are many recommendations, you cut down on eating. Caloric restrictions, or you just fast for a day or half a day, but it really is really effective and bring about many, many health benefits. That is not in question by anyone. And also, studies have shown that there are longevity claims as well, that it will make you live longer by engaging in dietary control. In fact, dietary control, if you use the word the way I'm describing it, is a part of any health regimen. You want to run, you want to be a boxer. In fact, if you want to be a model, you're going to engage in dietary control. When they're going to optimize the body, dietary control comes in because it's beneficial in many, many ways. So that's not a real problem, you know. But I want to say this. I want to talk about breatharianism just a little bit. I have found that breatharians, that is such a hostile concept to raise amongst most people. I learn not to say it unless I'm amongst friends who's going to look at me like, oh, he's just philosophizing again. Breatharianism is the idea that we can stop eating and we don't need to eat. And it's popular beyond me. There are people promoting it, people giving TED Talks on it. It's just an idea that's still progressing throughout the society. There's a lot of pushback or ignoring of the breatharians. And one of the biggest reasons I believe is because of our strong, strong attachment to eating. We love eating so much. That idea is, it doesn't matter if it's scientifically true. It doesn't matter if it can actually occur. It is, I don't know. I don't know how to just put forth the word to describe the hostility we have toward this idea. Now, I've studied these people to some degree. Perhaps I need to study them more. But from what I've seen so far, there are people I really believe are not eating or drinking. They're not eating food. They're not drinking any water. I have my suspicion, I should say, because of my philosophical ways. I'm doubting, but I'm always looking for evidence to validate things. And I have studied some people that I really believe are in that state of not eating and drinking. So now, despite the fact that I believe that there are people like this, I do know if I make any suggestion of people not eating, the hostility It's not because the process is wrong or has not occurred for some people. It's that the idea is that people love eating so much, and you dare say that I can live forever, but I can't eat. Are you? I'm just saying, it's a problem, right? So if you are considering to extend your life, you need to consider this part. If you are still super attached to your food, I would recommend you practice fasting. I cannot give instructions on fasting. There are many sites and many professions that give you instructions on diet, on fasting and dieting. And I would recommend you go to them. I'm just doing the philosophical side. And in the philosophical side, I would say if you really are concerned about extending your life and you're still very much attached to your regular day-to-day eating, then you're not going to make any progress whatsoever. You have to learn to control that, engage in dietary control, I would say. So even if we could establish scientifically that people can go without eating food, they can live the rest of their life like that. The vast majority of people would they would hear the truth, but they would not participate. This is very this is significant. This is what I want to share. All right. As we're looking at immortality, biological immortality, it may be a great truth for the philosopher like myself to explore. It may be a great truth for some members of the scientific community will explore it and are exploring it in different ways because they are looking at biological immortality in the science in the sciences. But for the vast majority of people, if living physically for an extended period of time, maybe the word immortal means you like live a few extra 100 years. So 100, you go 200 or 300 years. If living up to 300 years longer than normally would live, and that's that biological immortality, that's what that means for us, right? That's all we can achieve. Many people would say, what? 200 years, 250 years, no food, no uh, uh, yes, they'll understand that they don't need to eat. This is what I'm trying to say. They don't need to eat. That's okay. But they enjoy eating. They enjoy it and drinking all those flavorful drinks they have. Please try to understand. I can relate, you know, I can relate. So I'm human too. I'm just presenting a philosophy, all right? I'm human too. I enjoy that. I enjoy eating too. All right. So if biological immortality or radical life extension, let's call it that, if radical life extension means I have to abandon eating and drinking those wonderful drinks, the majority of people are going to say no. No. This is very, very important. When people begin to argue against this topic and this idea, you got to know where they're coming from. And this is the philosophical move. You got to see that there are other interests out there. And it's a personal interest, and there's nothing wrong with it. But it's a response strictly from the position that I enjoy my eating, and I don't want to look at it from the philosophical side or the scientific side. I just don't want to hear about it. All right. And so I'm going to encourage you, if you're on this channel and you are contemplating, or you have already began some process, biohacking with vitamins and exercise, that you need to look into yourself and look at the psychological makeup. You may not be able to take the vitamin because a part of you is missing the pizza you used to have a couple of weeks ago. There's nothing wrong with the vitamins. You have not addressed the psychological and emotional component of your past eating. And if when you address it, maybe you have to see a psychotherapist to help you overcome that, or do some philosophy, right? So today, I want to continue my exploration with the idea of biological immortality by looking at a big elephant in the room. One of the first ways of, I really like the way, but I'm like many other people too. My intelligence has come with this great theory, and it's solid. I may be smiling, I'm enjoying the conversation, but still, it's solid. You know, I'm telling you what I really see as the truth, right? So, so do you live or do you eat to live? Don't be lying to yourself. Or do you live to eat? And if you're interested in longevity in any capacity, maybe just living another 100 years, you're going to have to engage in dietary control. Even if you don't completely eliminate all eating and drinking, you need dietary control to bring up all the health benefits that come from such an approach. Until next time, I won't tell you not to eat because you won't come back to the channel. Okay. So until next time, take care of yourself. Go ahead and have a meal. I'm not going to tell on you.